All right, people, welcome back to One Degree, where me and my brother Reedy, we're trying to change the consciousness of mankind one degree so that we can all live in a better world of peace, harmony, and justice. I am Akashik, the Ancient of Days, and yeah, here the last couple of videos, last five videos, four videos we made, we were doing kind of a lecture series where I was kind of breaking down I've been breaking down the Ten Commandments, so it wasn't really necessarily a podcast type deal. It was kind of more of a lecture, and because it was things that I've been wanting to tell my brother, and so it's definitely not how our podcast is going to be in totality. So we wanted to kind of take a break from that and just do a regular discussion with he and I, get some
Yeah.
insights and some thoughts, some back and forth. So, Reedy, what's up, bro?
Well, I mean the Ten Commandments things, I thought that was just for me, and you're just sharing with other people. And I love picking your brain, man. You've been on this journey a little longer than me. I think it'd be good to, start out letting people know how we got here, why we're doing this, and what brought us to this. Um, I mean, I guess I can start
Yeah.
since I grew up in a Christian home, both parents, two sisters. Um, thought that that was truth. You know what I mean? The way the church taught me the Bible and what they told me Jesus was telling me or teaching me or trying to teach us, and never questioned it. I spoke about my mom a few times in here and how
Hmm.
much she meant to me and what I
Absolutely.
what I thought of her, what I still think of her. I still think I'm she was as Christ-like as anybody I've ever known. You know what I mean? Just loved everybody, taught me love. So it was something I didn't question, because that's what she believed. So
Hmm.
it was easy to believe that is true. Fast forward to uh my youngest son uh came out to me
Hmm.
late in life. He was 21 at the time, and he came out to me in a text message. I grew up in a Christian home, so I was taught that homosexuality was sin and there's something wrong with that person.
Judgments.
Yeah, yeah. And he told me in a text, and it broke me, man. I immediately fell to my knees and was bawling uncontrollably. Just the thought that I wasn't the dad I was trying to be, you know what I mean, for
Hmm.
my son, and to make him feel like that I didn't love him or I thought something was wrong with him just hurt so bad.
Hmm.
And I uh I questioned everything finally. Every belief that I had, I knew that couldn't be the truth. You know what I mean? I There's nothing wrong with my son. I love my son more than myself, and I needed him to know that. And I hated that he had to deal with that on his own, and think that maybe something was wrong with him. You know what I mean? And he's amazing, man. He got through puberty and all that, and coming out to friends at school on his own without me. And I hate that. I hate that I wasn't
Hmm.
there for that. But that's what made me question, all my beliefs. Finally, hey, this can't be right. I know this can't be right. And then immediately it was more, well, religion's bullshit. This is all a lie. It's nothing good here. You know what I mean? So I don't
Right.
buy any of this. And which, uh, got me to seeking for truth, for what it's all about, the why we're here and why I'm here and what I'm doing here, what it's all about.
Hmm.
And I started listening to lectures on YouTube, and uh, you've talked to me for a long time about this kind of stuff, and I kind of, yeah, that sounds cool, man. I'll read these books. And and unfortunately I didn't, you know what I mean? I wish I would have, but with him coming out, I started listening to different things, the philosophers like, I don't know, Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, which are Stoics,
Love
and
them.
yeah, trying to get control of my emotions and all because I went into a deep depression, lost a bunch of weight, wasn't sleeping, barely eating, just because I was so upset at myself. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And any trauma or hurt I caused my son. But you know, listening to this stuff, it had helped me and just having conversations with people, real conversation. And you know, this is why I was into this. You were doing this kind of thing before, but I love these kind of conversations. I love real conversations and sharing my feelings and hearing my friends share their feelings and what they're going through. And that's kind of where I was for a while, you know, and I'm got listening to Alan Watts quite a bit. Um, I read a book by Joseph Murphy. I read
Oh,
a
that's
book.
my guy.
I listened to an audiobook. I said I read a book. That's a, it's a slip. I wish I would have read it. The Power of the Self-Conscious Mind.
That's my guy, man. I
Yeah,
love Joseph
yeah,
Murphy.
and which it he uses the Bible a lot,
He
and
does.
it made it make more sense to me, which led me to Neville Goddard. I don't know if you've heard of Neville Goddard.
Stop it.
Um, yeah, and yeah, of course you have.
I read all of his
You
books. I
you read
read
the
all of
books.
Joseph Murphy's books.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So and just the thought of I am being God's name and the fact that we have that power within us and it just all of it started to make sense to me. You know what I mean? And then, you know, we would have conversations and I remember you being very surprised at how different I had become and you telling me that I was at you were surprised at the level I'd gotten to and it wasn't easy. You know what I mean? It was a rough road. It looking back now, I knew what happened had to happen to get me here. You know what I
Right.
mean? And we always have amazing conversations. And like I said, you've been doing this podcast thing for a while, and um, I love it, man. You wrote a book, amazing book, which definitely I think people should read. It definitely makes you think, and I think that's important. I think we need to think and we need to talk and
Right.
have real conversations. And I kind of got the ideal that I would kind of like to do that because I was loving having real conversations with you and with other friends and just men talking about real shit and
Right.
being okay with talking about their feelings. And because I grew up, I wasn't allowed to talk about my feelings. Suck it up, boy. You know what I mean? We were
As
Gen X,
society
man.
teaches us.
Yeah, got to be tough. You'll be a man. Well, that's it's unfortunate that that's the way you know we were taught and the way we thought we had to be. Because now, man, religion, science, everything all makes sense now. It all points to the same thing that, you know, we we do have power. We do have creative power. And we are consciousness. We're not this
Hmm.
body. You know what I mean? And it's been, man, it's been incredible. You know, I tried different things. I tried positive affirmations for a while. My mom passed away, which hit hard. I'm gonna try not to get too emotional today, Cook. You know, I caution. I losing my mom was tough, man.
Right.
It was hard, and
She was your rock, man.
yeah, yeah. Uh, but I knew I couldn't speak at her viewing or whatever celebration of life, and um, my amazing wife suggested that I just write her a letter, and I did that. It was so therapeutic. Cried my eyes out. Try not to do that right now, just talking about it. Um, but I said I think I'm going to start writing my mom every day. Just write my mom every day. And my brilliant wife says, I wouldn't write her every day. I probably wouldn't do that. Like, why not? Well, because if you miss, you're going to feel like you disappointed your mom.
Mm.
She's been amazing.
Very wise
So,
words there.
so blessed to have her in my life. And we're kind of going through this journey together. I mean, we're both seeking, you know, inward and trying to get better at meditation. I
Hmm.
really want to pick your brain about that too. I mean, I know you've been at this quite a bit longer, but yeah, man, I went through some hard things that brought me here, and I'm fortunate to have went through those things. Otherwise, I don't think I would have changed. I don't think I would have questioned like I do or did had my son not come out to me. I always just went along the way it was because my
Right.
life was good. I didn't have a bad life, and I felt okay with what I believed. I like okay, so be a decent person. I'll get to
We
heaven.
like fastballs, Jay.
Yeah, yeah. Just put it right down the middle.
Right down the
I'm
middle.
gonna drive it. But
Life says, nah, 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 nah.
yeah, yeah. And then I think we were sitting on the beach and just talking about life and philosophy and our beliefs and we got the idea to do this, to get together on this. And it's definitely gonna be more of this moving forward, like you said. But regardless of what everybody else thinks, I'm digging the Ten Commandments thing. I'm learning a lot, man. You have so much knowledge, man, because you're so well read. You've been, like I said, at this much longer than me, and I'm blessed to have you in my life, man. Truly am.
I'm blessed to have you, bro.
Uh, yeah,
So remember when back in the day, I used to call you fire and I was ice.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now you don't calm down. Now it's water and ice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm water now. I'm definitely more fluid. I grew up wanting to be Bruce Lee, which is
Ooh,
funny. You say that I'm water. That was something he said. Be
yeah,
like
it
water.
was.
Yeah. He's kind of a philosopher too, which is
Mhm.
really cool looking back. I think now that now that my way of thinking has changed, everything in my life makes sense. Like even that, even how much I appreciated Bruce Lee and wanted to be that. And now to hear the things that he thought and said and how they affect me so much differently than back then. I was just like, wow, he's a badass, dude. I want to
Mhm.
be like this guy.
All about aggression.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And that's where I was at. But I was kind of raised to be tough. So at least by my dad, but I appreciate that because you got to be tough to get through things in this life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I mean, all of it was a blessing, and it's just so amazing to see it all make sense now. Like all of
Right.
it, my entire life. Like I said, had my son not come out to me, I don't think we're sitting here, man. I don't think I ever change.
Everything happens the way it's supposed to happen. Just
Yeah,
when
and
it's supposed to
so
happen.
what a blessing for him to come out to me. You know what I mean? What a blessing that is. You know what I mean? And it's changed me for good. You know what
It
I mean?
changed your awareness. It made you
Yeah.
awake.
Yes. Yes. You know what's crazy about that though? He he's one that's and it's gonna take time. You know what I mean? I'm sure I've unintentionally built walls between us. He's not one that wants to have these conversations with me, unfortunately, which it'll change. It'll change. He needs his time and he's young. He'll come around to that. He's young. He's 23 years old, man.
Hmm.
Takes a little time. And I don't mean to uh out my son, but it's such an important part of my journey. I mean, it's the reason I'm where I'm at. I'm so
Hmm.
thankful. So
Because it's one,
thankful for
it
that.
was an emotional event that
Yeah.
molded you.
Yeah.
And that's all it takes. It's one emotional event, whether it's almost having died or
Yeah.
a loved one died or your event.
Yeah.
And just that one emotional event would just make you see the world differently.
100%. Yeah. Yeah. And without it, I don't think I'd change, man. And it was all about just disappointment in myself. You know what I mean? And now it all just makes so much sense, man. All of it, that you've been telling me for a while now. And I apologize for that, man. I should have. Hey, you know how I feel about you. We're brothers, man.
Man, everybody has to awake when it's time for them to awake, not
Yeah,
when I press the issue.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
I had to
I
learn
get,
that lesson.
yeah, yeah. But yeah, I mean that's kind of how I ended up here. And I'd kind of thought about doing those conversation type podcasts, but you know, a lot of the conversations are private. People don't want to
Yeah,
put that out there. So I don't know that that was a great idea, but you and I, hey, we're open books, man. We'll talk about it.
man, we flow.
Yeah. Yeah, and Yeah, absolutely. Some of my best conversations in my entire life have been with you, man. Truly grateful to have you as a
Man,
brother.
it's mutual, man.
Yeah,
It's mutual. Trust me.
I know. I know.
Well, I guess I'll say a little bit about me, which I mean, my dad died when I was 8. My mom raised me and my sister in the ghetto. We was in the welfare lines getting back in the day where you get the butter and and some milk and cheese and
That cheese was fire, dude. I miss that cheese. I don't want to
that
be
butter
poor
was
again.
fire on popcorn.
Oh yeah. I don't want to be that poor again, but I miss that cheese, man.
Well,
That was good cheese.
I didn't get a pair of shoes until my shoes I had holes in the bottom of them. So, I mean, grew up, pretty rough in the ghetto, and definitely with all those negative influences could have went in a bad direction. But um at a point in my life, probably when I needed him the most, is when I my uncle Ted came into my life, and he he became my father, and he molded me and guided me. He's one of the huge influences on me that made me who I am today. That I think, the way that my compassion towards people, um, all that. He had a big influence in my life. I grew up as a Jehovah's Witness. I mean, ever since I could remember. I don't know if my mom was a Jehovah's Witness when I was born, but from the time I can remember until I was like 16, I grew up a Jehovah's Witness. No birthdays, no
Mm.
holidays, no Christmases, none of that stuff. And you know that I'm not saying that that was right or wrong, good or bad, but it hardens you in a way because um, I don't necessarily, agree with holidays per se, but they teach you some lessons. And like, because I never had like Christmas and none of those things, it took me a while to open up to people and to accept things. Because if I almost felt guilty when I would accept things, like it was
Yeah.
like a bad thing. So, I had to work through those things. And then when I turned 16, my mom gave me the choice, and I decided not to be a Jehovah's Witness. And, the streets could have consumed me. I was in some situations where one decision here, one decision there, and you and I wouldn't be here having this conversation. But the one thing about me that I think really helped me escape the ghetto and the ghetto mentality is that my personality type is a Sigma. And a Sigma personality type is a lone wolf. Like, I don't follow the crowd. I don't care about peer pressure. I wear t-shirts every day. I don't care what people think about me. I stopped drinking alcohol when I was 24, which was like 31 years ago. All through my 20s, all the peer pressure of my friends cracking on me and stuff. I didn't care about none of that. I always walked my own beat. I always walked my own path. I was excluded from parties because I didn't drink and stuff like that. And it just didn't bother me. I mean, I've always been my own person and walked my own path. And I remember when I was like in my early 20s, and the first book I read kinda on metaphysics was a book by Napoleon Hill called Think and Grow Rich. And the concepts that he put in there were like just how to use your mind, how to be, and all these other things. And then that just intrigued me. And I just kept going from there. And like I said, I've read all of Neville Goddard's book. I've read all of Joseph Murphy's books. I've read all of Emmett Fox's book. I've read all of the greats. I read all of Napoleon Hill's. I mean, just so many books, man. If you seen my bookshelves, I got like 3 bookshelves in here, and they're all full of books that I've read.
I
But
have seen them.
I'm a bookworm. Um, so then, fast forward, I've always had a fascination with spiritual science and metaphysics, things like that. And then you and I were working at the same place, and I was working on a weekend shift. And one night I went to bed, and I woke up in the middle of the night, and I had this like I was awake, but I was asleep type feel. And I woke up, I used the bathroom, and I went back to sleep, but I wasn't asleep. and like my eyes just kept dilating back and forth the whole night. Like I couldn't get out of this trance. And it's kind of like the movie The Matrix when Neo sits in the chair and the guy downloads the information and he's like, I know Kung Fu. Like it's like all this information was just being downloaded into my mind. And then when I woke up the next morning, I had a full story of a book in my head. Like it was just all there. And I started on a journey to write this book. It just manifested, came through me, and I wrote this book in like 6 months and got it published. And now I'm working on the second book, which the first book I learned a lot of lessons. I did made a couple mistakes, but I learned a lot of lessons from that. So this next book is definitely going to be way more intricate. But this first book just kind of poured out of me, like from God or from the spirit or from my internal being. And if anybody's interested, the name of the book is called The Boy, the Master, and the Seven Questions. Is on Amazon and all those other things. And it's
I recommend it.
definitely a great starter book for people who are interested in metaphysics and things like that. But the next book is will be a little more deeper, a lot more deeper, to be honest. But also in that year, I decided to move to Florida. I was like, my intent, I've always wanted to move to Florida. So I just was like, you know what? I'm doing it. And I just made the intention to do that. And in that year, along with moving to Florida, I was writing a book and I resigned from the job that you and I worked together at and decided just to commit myself fully to this journey. And now I live here in Florida. I've been down here for 2.5 years and have fully committed myself to this journey and just seeing where the infinite source takes me and, just trusting in the guidance. It's hard letting the will go and
Mm,
just not trusting in your own understanding and trusting in God's understanding. And sometimes it's scary, but, overcoming all of these fears and things like that, these doubts, it just made me stronger and stronger and stronger. And like I said, we was on the beach one day and I was telling you about my theories on how I don't believe in reincarnation anymore. And then you and I and your wife was just sitting there, and then you came up with the idea of doing these podcasts, and I was like, man, you know what? That's cool. And then I remember you had came over to the condo and we were talking, and I had made a statement about if a ship is going in one direction from America to Africa, if you move that ship 1 degree, it may hit Europe. And you was like, that's it, 1 degree. That's what we're gonna call it. I was like,
yeah.
so that's how the name of this channel even came about. Like this is you. You did this. You got us to
Ah,
this
we did
point.
this,
So
man. We did this.
but I mean, just those thoughts came to you, and I knew that they were coming from the source. So I've learned to just walk in that and be in the
Same,
moment. So
same.
that's that's my story. I just decided to just commit, and here I am, and
Yeah.
I've read, like I said, so many books. I it's just. I don't even know how I'm able to remember all this stuff,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's up there. So
Some of the books you read, man, I don't know, even know if I could get through a page of it because it's just so deep.
it's
You know what I
heavy.
mean? Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, this is this was easy for me, man. I mean, I'm early in this journey and I get to learn from all that time you've put into this, man. I can't lose here. And our conversations, man, are always like that, just like the 1 degree thing, man. We just flow so well together. We just always do. And again, I am so grateful to be doing this with you. I know I just know something big is coming from this, man. I know it. I feel it.
Yeah, the best is yet to come for sure.
Yeah. Yeah. I couple times in the Ten Commandment series, you had said something about the universe being mechanical and not moral.
Hmm.
I want to pick your brain a little more on that.
Absolutely.
I'm not, so morality is right and wrong. You know, in my understanding, like if you're moral, you do the right things. But the universe being mechanical, meaning yes and no's, like you had said, it's like a computer program. Doesn't care about morality.
Right.
Has nothing to do with it. So, I mean, what is morality?
So the the thing about the universe being mechanical and not morality is that the universe works on vibration and frequency and emotional energy. Those are the things that move God. Those are the things that move the universe. Now, in that, there are set laws that are set up so that you can maneuver through this maze that we call life. And if you know these laws, then you can maneuver easier. And if you don't know the laws, you don't. Now, this is the thing. When you don't know the laws and you vibrate at a lower rate, then morality has to be forced. And when morality is forced, then you place judgment on people, places, and things.
Hmm.
However, when you learn that God is love and anything outside of that is a misinterpretation of God, and you start outpouring love on a daily basis, then morality just follows
Yeah,
because you can't have love and then hate. You
right.
can't be in joy and be sad at the same time. So morality flows naturally when you understand the mechanical laws of the universe and you vibrate at higher rates. When you
Okay.
vibrate at higher rates, you cannot vibrate at lower rates. And also, when you vibrate at higher rates, you have no choice but to have morals. They're natural. But when you
Which is how it
vibrate at
should be.
lower rates, like the church, when the church says, um, do good and you go to heaven or do bad and you go to hell. Well, if you do good because of possibly going to heaven, then you're not necessarily good. You're just
Hmm.
trying to save your own ass.
Yeah,
But and if you are scared of the threat of hell, then you're not doing good because of you're vibrating at a higher frequency. You're doing good because you're trying to save your own ass. You
right.
don't want to go to
Right.
hell.
Yeah, you're forcing morality. That makes sense. You
Forcing.
know what's crazy about that is the Bible, God teaches us to love our enemies, forgive 7 times, 70 times, yet he throws his enemies in fire for eternity. How's what? I got to forgive 7 times, 70 times and love my enemies, but you're going to burn them? That makes no sense. Yet I, yet I just believed it was true.
Man, hey, in Acts 10:34, uh there's that scripture says that and Peter opened his mouth and said that the one thing that I have perceived that God is no respect of person. It doesn't it's mechanical.
Mm,
It's backed up in Romans 2:11. For there is no respect of person with God. It's just in the even in Matthew 5:45, Jesus says, um, he maketh his sun shine on the evil and the good. He reigns on the just and the unjust. There is no
doesn't matter.
morality. It's just mechanical. Either you are righteous in alignment or you're not in alignment. But the thing about it is, though, is that when you, God gives us grace through time and distance. God gives us grace through time and distance. So, for instance, if you walk out your house and a car just hits you right away, well, you didn't have you didn't have enough time to change your fate. But if you walk out the house and you see a car coming and you see it erratic, well, now because of time and distance, now you have choice.
Mm,
Without time and distance, there is no choice. So some laws give you grace and some laws don't. Some laws give you choice, some laws don't. If you fall off of a building, there's no choice. If you get
yeah.
zapped by electricity, there's no choice. But if you are doing drugs and these particular drugs could mess you up or whatever, well, your body just doesn't collapse right away. You have time and distance to change.
Mm,
If you are um, robbing people and doing, those low morality things, the universe gives you a chance to change. And that's kind of how the universe is mechanical and not moral.
Right. But
It's just,
morality should be natural.
yeah. Judgment
Yeah.
is built in the law.
Yeah.
You ain't got
Yeah.
to worry about being moral. Judgment is built in the law. That's how it's built.
Hmm.
People need to stop looking at God through the lens of a human and need to start looking at God through the lens of what God is. People need God to do judgment for them and you're bad and I'm right and all this other stuff. That's not how the universe works.
Yeah.
It's just not. And
I mean,
unfortunately, th- let me tell you real fast, um, the universe works on clarity. And unfortunately, most Christians are not clear on what they want. And because of that, they never get what they want. Whereas most bad people know exactly what they want. They know
hmm.
exactly who they are. And so because they're clear on that, the universe rewards them. The sun shines on the just and the unjust. If you are clear and intent and know exactly what you want, whether you use the thing for good or bad, the universe will deliver. And that's just how it is, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah. I, I I do notice myself for sure since I've started this, or since I've begun to awaken, whatever the correct way to say this is. I I'm more empathetic toward other people. I like, even if somebody's being an asshole, I'm like, man, I'm sure there's a reason. You know what I mean? I don't know where this guy's been through to get him here. And
hmm
I used to have bad rage issues, you know that,
I,
especially road
I used I
rage.
drove with you in the car.
Yeah. Man, now if a car cuts me off, I think I'm in too big of a hurry. The universe is trying to slow me down. I wasn't supposed to be there yet. So it's all for my good. You know what I mean?
You've
This is,
you've done really good with that, Jay. I'm telling
yeah,
you.
it hasn't been easy, man, but it's just, man, once you realize truth, you know what I mean? It's no longer that hard. You know what I mean? I still have my moments. You know what I mean? I don't want to say that I don't have some of those low vibration moments. I do. I
hmm
absolutely do. That's old habits. I mean, I'm 51. I've had these habits for a while. So
Long
it's,
time.
yeah. So every now and then that old dude will show up,
Yeah.
and I'm a much better about catching it now though. Like right away, I most of the time I can check my here,
Vibration,
switch off
vibration
some lights.
determines morality. Vibration determines morality. And if you vibrate at a high rate, your morality will be great. If you vibrate at a low rate, your morality will not be great. So whatever you're vibrating at will determine the level of morality that you're at. That's just how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I'm having some light issues. I don't know
I
if you
see
noticed.
that. I see that,
Yeah.
man. I'm glad
I
I'm
think I had
not
a
there.
I think I had a breaker trip is what
Yeah.
happened.
That's because
And
you're in Antarctica.
yeah, it was, I think it felt like -8 this morning when I headed to work.
Oh, God. Oh
That's
my
what the
God.
weather said, but I thought it felt like 20 below, honestly. It felt way worse than that. But yeah, I ain't in Florida yet. We'll get there.
So this video will hit before the fifth commandment, which that video will hit Sunday. And yeah, man, this has been a good thing, man. And
Yeah, yeah.
for 1 degree, for my brother Reedy, I am Akashic, the Ancient of Days, and we will see you on the next video.